So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
Hello, welcome to Why the Last Man recap podcast with and I kind of feeling like York right now because I have Dee and Courtney with me. I am the last man on this podcast.
It's called Why the Last Man, as why was there one left?
Why?
Like, why did we not finish the job?
Oh my god!
Why are you here?
Oh my god!
Why?
So Dee, how's it going?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm doing all right. And also for our Ted Lasso listeners, let's once again send like your best wishes to Dee. You know, we took a break from Ted Lasso because she was slightly under the weather, and also because did we really need to recap the After Hours episode? Maybe not. But Courtney, how's it going? Long time no see.
It's good. You know, as soon as I found out there was a show about men dying, I was like, I want to be on board immediately. Say less. That's all I need to know. Like, all the men die? That's no, y'all. It's like it was made just for me.
Went like this. That's exactly how it went.
That's literally how the conversation went. Because she's like, "Oh, Ron's talking shit," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll listen." And then I'm like, and then it's like 15 minutes. I'm like, the premise is like, "Oh, the men die." I was like, I didn't even have to listen to the rest.
She was in.
I was all in.
I was watching and die.
If you're my boss, this is a joke. But I was watching it during the slow hours of my work. But that's a joke if you're my boss. But yeah.
Never. We would never watch TV on clock.
Never.
So Courtney, I want to start with you. Like I asked Dee this our first recap. So how are you feeling about the show so far? Like the premise and just the adaptation of the show itself. Like how are you feeling about it so far?
Well, I didn't read the graphic novel. I would have read it if I knew it existed because, again, that's very much up my lane. But it's really interesting because, like, jokes aside, you know, the men die. Like, it's a really interesting concept because I'm kind of looking at it as, like, it's not just like, oh, we need men to reproduce, whatever, get that out of the way. But we really don't. Maybe sperm banks exist. But if like basically because like it pretty much is like 50-50 with men and women in the population overall. Like it's pretty much just like a Thanos snap but way more violent. So just to kind of imagine, like I think it's just more of the world. If you think about it, more of the world. I'm sure it's the intent may have been, I see we do need men. Like I'm ignoring that. To me it's more of if the half the population in which like most of them disproportionately hold power and wealth disappear, like they have it so set up to where it's not so easy when they're gone. So I really like it. Definitely. I think something shady is going on with President Pelosi. But yeah, there's no way that her idiot son I was like, but seriously, like the most on-brand thing for men would be the only one surviving is this highly privileged white idiot male who has nothing to offer society. Like truly, like a himbo, truly through and through, like one that just has nothing to offer, can't do anything, and is constantly just doing things that would, it's like, you know how, Dee, I'm sure you think this all the time, it's like, how do men survive? It's like, this is peak. Everything bad about men is in this one character. And then you're reminded about why we keep men here, just he took his shirt off.
That's it. As soon as
that's it. That's the only reason.
That's why, right
but
there.
I'm really, it's like I think, I forget which one of you mentioned this, kind of like a little bit reminds me of The Boys. And I don't know why, but it kind of does too. But I like it that it's not like when they had the event happen, I'm kind of sorry. I'm like hopping on where I should have been last episode. But I'm glad that so far the violence isn't like overly gratuitous. I appreciate that because I'm not a big fan of like, I understand like your SFX like team is doing great, but you're doing too much for me right now. Yeah. I don't want to, like, I work at a hospital. I don't want to see hospital stuff outside the hospital. Thanks.
Yeah, the gore is where it needs to be. Like we got the
Right.
worst of it, and then we kind of moved on, which is what I
Yeah,
like.
and like New York is infuriating, but like I appreciate that because in my mind it's by design. Like I like when a character kind of invokes that kind of emotion. I think they're doing a good job with how idiotic he is because I
Like
think
in
they're
a,
really drilling home how useless he is. I really think they're drilling that home, and even he's like, "Why am I'm
because
so
yeah,
useless."
I was going to say that because in an odd sense, like him being just a complete buffoon makes the show more
And it's not like he
compelling.
even
Like
has any like useful skills.
no, like
Like
he
it's not like
is
he's like a like his at least his sister's like an EMT. Like
Excuse
he
me.
has
he's a shitty escape artist with a
I was just
knife.
going to say he is an escape artist. Thank you.
he's not even a good
Terrible
one.
one. He's got amp.
Look,
Yes. No. Okay.
I
I'll
mean,
try
I'm
it. Yeah.
glad the monkey made it. Like the monkey seems to deserve
Try
to
it.
be here. The monkey's cute. The
I don't
only
know,
thing that made
man.
me like him was like he saved the monkey from from like the testing, whatever. I'm like, that's sweet, but that's it. And then when he also took his shirt off, that's it.
oh my
Everything
god,
else is
oh my
like, I
god.
cannot stand you.
All right, so Courtney, you mentioned something interesting that I want to go back to because we're basically gonna like break down all the characters. So I think we first need to start with the so this was kind of like injected into the show. Obviously because of the times they are playing up on this heavily. So what would happen if this event happened today and all the Republican women were left? So let's talk
Oh
about
God,
Kimberly Campbell.
why does it have like that's what that upset me. Like, why do I have to share the last name? I don't know. That was upsetting. I have no relation. This is
You sure?
Megan McCain.
You
She
sure?
might be.
No,
She might be.
no, I
Long lost
promise.
cousin.
Well,
Hold
like
on,
I
let me
said, I would just be censored in the Republican women at that point if there's no rules.
I think that the thing that I noticed is when it came to the white women, the Republican white women, we've often said that, they're kind of, and Courtney, you say this a lot of times they don't get as much, um, I don't want to say credit, blame as they should for supporting the trash that is the white men, right? And this is pretty much just showing us even without the white men, their ideals, their values,
He was
their
mostly concerned about the sperm bank over than the
that's it.
actual
Like
human bodies. Like I was like, this is, but I think that was like so. I think it's very accurate because I
because
believe
it's
that would
still men.
100% be because they're
Yeah.
like more concerned about that than the actual humans. Like there's a small point to that. Like obviously that's a good thing to think about, but you need to focus on the human lives. Like what was it, 60,000 or 80,000 people?
But see, that's I think I don't even know if they could have done it better because what it's showing is it's not about having someone to lead or protect or whatever else, because these are going to be, even if you save the sperm, these are still going to be children. These people that you are bringing into the world with this sperm are not going to have any value whatsoever for at least 5 years,
Not
at
even then,
least,
bro. I
right?
would say like 12 years.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like it's
If
not
we're
even
thinking like a
her
ground
looking
zero
out.
society where people just
Yeah,
like
you're
honest,
not
like
looking out for the greater good. You just want men because
you just
in
want
your
men back.
brain, right, the world can't exist without them. And it is proven that it is, and it's going to. Now you might not be able to save the world. Like this is just it. And I'm like,
There's no way you'd
I
be able to
will.
repopulate that quickly though either.
Yeah.
With just like if you just think about what like the implications. But it's like I guess whatever the like white woman version would be like with men, like with like the decolonizing your mind, like they just it's not even if like you remove men from the situation, like it's still that's the focus is anything to do with men. So it's just I love that touch because it's just so I think it kind of highlights that because it's one thing that we've talked about a lot. I know I talk about it a lot is that we don't talk about just like how just as guilty these Republican white women are for upholding these systems.
Yeah, like,
So, mhm.
because here's the thing too, and of course this isn't like my place to say like in a podcast with women, but what it reminded me of is how conservatives will, you know, want to stop abortion but don't do shit for the children that are actually here. Because Kimberly was like, "Hey, put me on this plane right now, take me to New York to save the sperm bank. I don't care that there are thousands outside dying and starving. We need to save the sperm.
You just save
It's
the
about
sperm, right?
what about
It's
the
about
babies?"
incubating. It's about
Right.
incubating. But I do love how they added the little bit of my father would have trust. I was basically of my father. I was like, this is so. That's when I was like, I
Megan
messaged the group. I was like,
McCain.
this is absolutely. At first, I
Okay.
thought it was just like a Fox News talking head, but when there was my father, I was like, this is Megan McCain without a doubt. Amazing, outstanding job. But yeah, it's the same thing. But just as an aside, if you want to, again, if you're kind of on the fence about the pro-choice thing, which I do think they brought this series, I know they kind of wanted to wait a little bit because of COVID. The timing is perfect, seeing about how at risk Roe v. Wade is right now, because it's all about kind of profiting again, upholding the patriarchal based society. Because if you look into adoption groups right now, they're really pissed off that people are not producing babies because there's an adoption shortage. It's really, if you just look into it, it's really kind of fucked up. It really is, because to them, like, children are not human beings, they're like objects, they're property.
Mhm.
So, and then if you, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, what is something that is seen as good if you're wealthy but trashy if you're not, is like having a lot of kids is one of
Mhm.
them. So it's like they collect children because they look at me, how charitable I am to adopt these children. And it's just kind of a self-serving, gratuitous thing. So it kind of reminds me of that, because if you think about it, I'm sure the series is going to get to this point. Even if you remove men from the equation, there's still like a lot of intersectional power plays there. Like, I'm hoping, Ron, you can maybe like nod or shake your head that they are going to show, like, I'm sure white women are still going to be at the top, and it goes down with women of color, and I'm sure with trans men are still going to have the same amount of problems that they did before. It's like, and I'm really hoping they show this to show the responsibility in the society that white women have. I'm like really showing, because like that's my shit too. It's like,
This is actually
please.
a great segue. So D, I'm going to kick it to you for this. So we were also introduced to another conservative lady, Nora Brady.
Who was that
So
supposed to be?
she's kind of in the background. She was an aide to the president, if I'm not mistaken, but now without her like perfect picket fence life, she's kind of feeling lost. So D, what do you think about this character?
I feel I felt like something was going to happen to her anyway. Like, even before the event, in the beginning, the way she just bent to whatever the president asked her to do, there was no pushback. There was no nothing. She's almost like the conservative version of B-55. It's 55, right?
I think it's
Is it
55.
B-55?
Mhm.
You're
Is
right.
it
It is
55?
kind of like the conservative version.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because B-55 is like, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. I'm doing it. Whatever. Please tell me something to do. And on the other side, she was the same way. It was like, whatever the president needs, I'm gonna do it. It doesn't matter. I'm there because I'm that girl when it comes to him. And then once he was gone, that was it for her. She has she has no standing of her own. And the fact that she couldn't even get in the White House, to me, was still kind of crazy, because I'm like, y'all have to know who she is, right? But they may not. They very well may not know who she is, because everything she does is through him. So she's just in
Mhm.
the background doing everything that has to be done, getting no recognition or no love and no nothing. It's almost like a basketball wife, or like a pro bowler's wife or an athlete's wife who does all these things and doesn't get anything in her name. And then once he decides he wants to leave, then it's kind of it. And that's where she is. It kind of sucks. I kind of feel bad for her, but I don't. But I do. Like, I feel bad for everybody, because this is a sucky situation, and she has a daughter. But on the other hand, I'm like, you don't want to say deserve, right? Because who deserves this? But
You go down the path that you choose, kind of
right,
thing. One thing I will give B-55 is at least she kind of like side eyes some things,
yeah,
right? Like, I think she's just like, she's very dedicated to her job. but at least she's like, this is fucking weird.
But she can
And, like,
take
she's
care of
side-eyeing.
herself too, outside of
Mhm.
somebody else. Like, she's looking for
She can
direction because
survive.
she's a perfect
Mhm.
soldier, but she has life skills. She can do things outside of whatever somebody tells her to do. Whereas on the other side, whatever she's tasked to do, she does it well. But I don't think she does she have initiative of her own? I don't know. Maybe she does. I don't know. I can't tell. What
Almost
you
like
think,
a
Ray?
Stepford wife type energy. Kind of
Okay.
like it's almost like mindless.
So once again, I think she's going to have a very interesting story arc. So I'll ask the both of you, like, where do you kind of see her trending and going? Like, where do you see her character going next?
I see a softness only because she has her daughter. I think if she didn't have her child, she'd full out be one of those the badasses that are just kind of hoarding all the food. I don't know who they are.
I see her
But I
going
think she'd be one of
QAnon.
them.
I
I
see
think
her. I don't know. I just see her going like a QAnon. Like I feel like what if something happens to the kid? Like I don't know. I just feel like she might lose her
yeah.
sanity.
I feel like, yeah, if she didn't, like, that's the only thing. If she didn't have her daughter, she would be full out gunning for second in command to whoever that lady is.
Like
The one
imagine how
that's what she would be.
to,
That's what I think she's going.
yeah, to me it's just like imagine it's almost kind of like you know how like pick-me's are. It's like just imagine like what would
Mm.
happen to the pick-me's if all the men disappeared? Like it would like be like a malfunction kind of
What you
thing.
Well, see, Ronnie, can we ask your opinion though? Because you kind of know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you can ask my
know, it's
opinion.
cheating.
Like
Okay,
that.
what do
Like
you
I'm gonna
think?
say this. Like for
Non-spoilery
one,
way.
yeah, for one thing, they've kind of jumped ahead quicker than I thought, which makes sense
Mm-hmm.
though because you have to for a TV show. But they've also inserted certain characters and they've kind of adapted this for the time. So there are some things that different. So I'm kind of watching this just as you are too. So yeah, you can ask my opinion.
Okay, so where do you think she's going? Wait,
Uh,
is she first? Is she a character from the novel, from the graphic novel?
no.
Oh, okay. So where do you
Oh,
think
so
she's
that
going?
this is when you have no
Yeah,
idea then.
yes, yeah. So with her, yeah, and that's why I asked specifically about her. So with her, um, obviously she was a woman who was doing just whatever was needed of her. So now without men, like I don't think it's going to be like a Kimberly Campbell where she's like, we need men's our purpose. I think she's going to find that purpose for herself. And okay, I was about to let a spoiler slip just now, but she is going to become like her own person. She's never been her own person before because with like I could
In
tell
a good
like
way
it's
or a
all
bad way?
in a bad way.
I was
So
gonna
yeah,
say, like,
she's
I don't know why, like, I'm getting like the gut feeling I'm getting is like I feel like she might be in of like a QAnon conspiracy. Like maybe it takes initiative, but she loses her mind. I don't know.
mhm,
I just feel like when you give your that much loan so much of your identity to something and that thing just disappears, it's not good for your mental health. And you can either, and a lot of people that do it in that way, it usually is not in a healthy way. And it's a dark path kind of thing.
mhm,
Mm,
Am I on the
yeah,
right path?
mm.
I just feel like there's no way that they're not going to implement QAnon ish things into this. So I'm like,
yeah,
Do you
I don't
think
because
know.
her daughter survives?
No,
I
no,
believe
without a
much
doubt.
like Court is saying, I believe that's the catalyst of her just losing her shit. So I think
Okay.
her yeah, something
It's like
obviously happens with her
Cersei from Game
daughter.
of
She
Thrones. Like she already was a little
yeah.
bit crazy, but once the kids were gone, it was like batshit.
I mean, I was already mad at the girl falling on a shovel. Just being honest. Like, I didn't want to be mad at her but I was pissed because I'm like, girl,
Mhm.
I don't have time for this. And
There's a
I
Like
lot of
get
why?
people
it.
in this show that aren't very smart.
I do get it though, because she's a child. Like, she's a child. She has gone through a traumatic event, and the thought of the crows or the buzzards, I think that was a vulture. I looked it up. I think that was a
Mm-hmm.
vulture that she
I think
saw.
Mhm.
Like like pecking over her dad and I get it, right? Because I wouldn't want that either. But like you have to be the adult in this situation and say, sweetheart, I understand what you're going through, but we have to move. Like, we have to move on. We
Just
have to.
unhinged vibes. Already I'm getting unhinged.
I don't know. Good luck, though. That's all I'll say.
Beautiful gowns, nice gowns. But
Nice
let's this is going to be so tough. So let's start with the Brown family, and specifically before we get to York, because like I said, we could talk all day about York.
I hate this family so much.
Let's start with the top of the family.
Just the worst of the genes.
Speaker of the House / President Jennifer Brown.
Pelosi.
Yeah, obviously. Which is a nightmare for me if Nancy Pelosi became our president. Dear God.
She's definitely better than the actual president, though, right?
I was gonna say.
What's her name? What's her name, Ronnie?
Shit, I can't remember her name. But
see, this is the thing that tripped me out about her. Y'all, she went through a traumatic event. She woke up. She can't see out of one of her eyes. I don't even know if she has the eye or not. And she's getting this all this information coming in, and I understand she's whatever she is, so it's not like she doesn't get hot reports all the time, maybe whatever, but it wasn't lost on me that they told her there was this extinction level event, right? All of the men are gone. This is what's happening. You're in this place. Everybody, only women are alive, and this is where we are. Can you remember your name? Oh yeah, I remember your name. I remember my name. And if what you said is correct, I'm the president. Girl, that's the first thing you think of. You really literally couldn't remember your name 10 seconds ago. And now that you've remembered it, the second thing you remember after hearing all this information is, oh shit, I'm the president.
Didn't York say something about her, like how she was like really bad person or something? Or
everybody's talked about how bad she is. Like, all the women, are like she's awful.
Yeah, like she's awful.
And to set the scene, Jennifer Brown is president because she jumped this lady in succession because she was technically not born in the United States. I think she was born in Myanmar or something.
Which I think
she was born somewhere. Yeah, was
she a naturalized citizen?
Right. So technically, this lady is next in line for the presidency, but Jennifer Brown jumped over her. So when Meghan McCain and her white girls pulled up, she was like, "We believe we have a say. She should be the president. We need a voice." So they're gonna push for her to take over, which is.
And she also jumped her because they thought she was dead. Like, remember that part?
That too. Yeah, can't forget that.
One of those things you can't really wait. It was one of those things you can't really wait to find out.
Right. And that's how like Jennifer Brown went from being like the speaker to president in like in a matter of hours. But let's get into her as a mother. Like what do you think is going on there? Because obviously we have
both her kids
York, who still leans on her, but is still estranged. But Hero wants no part of her. Also, so what do you make of
even
that?
in the apocalypse, was not trying to have her mom find her.
I think it's the situation where, and y'all just take it for what it is. This isn't a knock on your parenting, okay? A lot of times, mothers teach their daughter how to survive. Right? We learn how to cook, we learn how to clean, we learn how to sew, we learn how to adjust if something happens, that type of thing. And then with this newer, with the different times, since we're modern women now, we also learn how to change tires, change the oil. Like, we learn all of these things, right? Men are taught to provide, right? Take it. Just take it. Okay. Men are taught to provide. So they know how to go out and earn money. They know how to fix them. I don't know. You
can't even think of anything.
Stuff, right? They learn man stuff, right? But there are a lot of life skills. There are a lot of life skills that sometimes they lack.
You tried.
You see how hard Dee is a good person, because I just would have been like, what are you taught to do nowadays?
Right. Yeah, okay.
Change
but with that, but with that, I'm saying
don't even do that.
It's probably since Mrs. Brown was so highly regarded, or she went into government, I'm sure she already had this idea that Hero needs to be great, right? She needs to be great. And because she needed to be great, I'm almost positive she was very hard on Hero. And Hero probably saw it as much worse because as a child, that's what you see. You don't understand what they're doing. So everything seems like you're doing too much. And if
First
she's doing that
daughters
to
can
her,
relate. I was gonna say
and
first
then
daughters around
exactly,
the world.
and then she's babying the boy Yorick,
First
right? Because
daughters
that's her baby.
with brothers.
Yeah, and Yorick is the baby, and he's sweet, and he's probably really kind and a nice
And he's allowed
child
to
and
be a really bad
easier.
escape artist. Well,
Yeah, he was probably
he was
well
expected to
behaved.
do med school or something like that.
Yeah. And because of that, I'm sure Hero, if whenever she started her descent into alcohol, that probably was some kind of form of contention because I'm sure that was tough. And it may have been not just that she was dealing with the alcoholism, but what is that going to do to the family? What is that going to say about me? You know, I am trying to have this image, and here you are. And Hero's probably just like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. And she just didn't want to do it anymore. But now that she's a murderer, I don't know why she just really doesn't fuck with her mama though, like at all,
Like, look,
Have
how
they said
like
why?
you know
at
how
all,
wild it is. Like the world just ended, and like
literally.
her friend Sam is like, "Hey, your mom could save us." She's like, "Nah, let's go to Pittsburgh. Let's just."
Look,
And she's
we'll
like
find
clearly
testosterone. It's
hiding.
fine.
Yeah.
Because I
And
remember
she's not
watching.
hiding because she killed somebody. She's hiding from
Oh,
her mom.
see,
Right.
she nobody's gonna know. Like, who cares that she killed him? And I'm sorry, I know it's insensitive, but who cares? All of them dead anyway, so whatever. But
Yeah,
she's
he was literally
she
about he could have died anyway. So
I there has to be something she did though. Like there still has to be a point, even if you and your mom don't get along. There has to be like
it has to be something
something.
bad.
Yeah, there has to be a point where she just did something and it turned her off completely. Because I mean, she still, fuck with York. And I get like siblings, that's just kind of how we are. Like me and my
So
brother
it's
gonna be tight regardless. But I don't know. I'm honestly convinced though that her mom did something very bad. And it could be that it's not as bad as we would think, but things are much worse if it's done to you by your mom. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it may be something that we can be like, girl, it's not that big of a deal, but it's a big deal to her. And I think it's something like that. Like because what's her face? Miss Brown, she knows she's done something too. Because
Mm.
she's not surprised that her daughter doesn't want anything to do with her. Like she's not shocked at all. She's kind of like, yeah, just go
She's
find her.
she's
She out there
stubborn.
somewhere.
So this
So,
is a question. Oh, okay.
oh
You
no,
know what
no,
she
I have a
did
Courtney, go.
wrong?
question.
No, Courtney, go ahead because I feel
Okay.
like my question is gonna be like, yeah. So go ahead. Yeah.
So okay. So I know this is like something that's like ooh a conspiracy plot point, and we'll probably find it out. So whether Mama President knew that her son was going to make it, going along with that, do we think that she actually was trying to check for her son, or was he so useless and she was so invested in her daughter that she, whatever? Like, I don't,
I feel like
not
she
even thinking
really
about
thought he was
him.
dead. Yeah, I
That's
think
what
See,
I
she
I'm
think.
really
I,
thought
glad
he
you.
I
was dead.
think I think that even if he was alive, even if he was, like, that's the thing. She was just so invested, I guess, in Hero or whatnot, that she really was only trying to check for her daughter and just
I'm glad. I'm glad you asked that because I was gonna come at that from the other angle. So, um, Hero knows that if Yorick doesn't have money or like need his rent paid for 3 months, his mom is always going to bail him out. Hero didn't get that same love. So
So I feel like someone
when she
had to have been an
discovers,
only daughter that helped is this story because it's just
which
a little
yeah,
too real.
so when she discovers that Yorick is alive, and not only is he alive, he is under the care of his mother and being
And he's
protected
the
by a
only
secret agent.
man.
He is the only man alive. How is Hero going to feel
I
about
would
that?
be pissed because I'm like, he's useless. I don't care if it's your son. Like, there were actual like neurosurgeons and doctors that I'm just saying, I would be very upset.
I'm only saying this because I feel like I kind of
I'm
like,
also
it's like almost
biased,
like
but
Hero can't help but feel away, right? Like
Uh-huh.
I
how,
would.
because I'm still like, how on earth did he
Okay.
survive?
I just have a
Still.
question for our viewers. Again, if you are the first daughter or you're the only daughter and you have a very similar complex and you have a brother that's kind of useless, how would you feel if you found out your mom is president and your brother was the only man that survived? How would you feel? Because I'm feeling mad right now just at the idea. Because
Feel
there's
like
actual like neurosurgeons and people that have contributed to society and like have potential.
you
And then you
can't.
have an
Okay, so
escape artist.
initially, but because I'm just trying to be logical, right? Because initially you have to say, okay, she had to do something. There's no way he survived without her intervention, right? But then again, there's just a part of me that just wants to say she would have had to be smarter than to make him the only man that survived.
Maybe it wasn't supposed to, maybe there were supposed to be others and it just by chance. Like maybe it was supposed to be a smaller, because didn't they say in, because I may have missed something, because again, I definitely was not watching this at work, but there was a couple in Russia, or was that just a story?
It was just a story. So
He's the
Okay.
last one. It's just him and Amp. And see,
so
Maybe
I
they got
think the monkey
exposed to
running,
something. Maybe they
the
got exposed
monkey,
to something.
the
Maybe it's the
monkeys was
monkey, because
throwing
didn't
me
they say?
off.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
It's the
Because didn't he
monkey.
say he
uh-huh.
saved the monkey from testing? Maybe it's just like it's something to do with mom's job, and he was being an idiot and saved this monkey. But maybe like, because like I said, I still think this is a conspiracy, a biological weapon, and that they were probably testing it on animals. And maybe somehow this monkey developed like an antibody, and then by York being around this monkey so much, like Osmosis Jones level, like it was like opposite Osmosis Jones, and then this actually helped him.
It's the monkey.
Interesting.
Am I
I'm convinced it's
digging
the
too
monkey.
deep? I
It's the
mean,
monkey.
that's what I think. I think it's because he mentioned, but as soon as he mentioned that he saved it from a testing facility, I was like, what kind of testing facility? Because
He said
I work at a
makeup.
research hospital. I was like, what were they testing the monkey for?
He said makeup. He said
Because
he wouldn't be eating
um,
makeup or something like that. So that's
makeup.
probably what it was.
Because anytime like anything's confidential, it's like it's cosmetics.
It's the monkey.
Because
Amp is the answer to it
they
all.
like to use monkeys for a lot of different testing things, especially cognitive level or neurological level. So that's why I was like,
Ronnie, is Amp important in the graphic novel?
I'll tell you this. You can say Amp is the missing link. I'm joking.
He
Sorry.
is
Like no, but no, yeah. Amp is important in the novel,
Okay.
and I feel like this show is deviating from the graphic novel in a major way. I won't say what
you
way
think
that
it's
is.
maybe a good way or a bad way?
Um,
I was going to ask
tell
you
us
because
after.
I always ask.
in this way. All right, so if they do this, it has to be good. That's all I'll say.
Because the one thing I've heard is that the graphic novel really like there's like one trans man character and it's kind of like a token, and like the show is a lot better about
Yeah.
kind of expanding on the idea of trans men. But again, that my first thought I was like, why doesn't York just say that he's a trans? I just feel like it would solve a lot of problems if the cover would be, well, he's just a trans man. Like I know
Because
the trans men,
then people would
I know
say
the trans men in the universe are still getting questioned, and that's very stressful because it's like it really nothing got better for them at all. But I still feel like that would be safer.
he is too idiotic to even carry himself as
That's
a trans
true.
man.
You're
Well, he
right.
said it.
He's like way too stupid.
He said it. He said it when he got hemmed up. He said, "I'm looking for tea." He's like, I'm looking for tea. I'm looking for
Yeah,
testosterone. So he
testosterone.
used it, but he
But
didn't
it didn't.
sell it. He didn't sell it, and I think it still will take people a second because if you remember, Sam, that's his name, Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
That's Hero's friend. He even said when they saw him, he was like, "You'll figure it out. Like you'll figure it out." And because it still took them a second to realize, because they were just like, "Oh shit, a man." Like, what
But
are
yeah,
you?
even when they saw Sam, they're just like,
Yeah.
okay, we buy it.
Yeah,
They're
and
like,
it, it
yeah,
it took a second, but they were just like, "Oh, okay. Well, clearly this has to be the case." But I feel that they will still. I don't think Sam's necessarily out of the woods. I feel like there's going to be an investigation.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I'm kind of nervous for him.
Yeah, I like Sam a lot. That's probably one of my more favorite, like the one of the characters that I don't feel like is just stupid beyond help.
We're
But
going to get
yeah,
into the ladies. What do they call them? The wives of something. What do they call them, Ronnie?
Did they mention their names?
She
Because if they're
said.
who
She
they
said
think they
I
are,
when
got
they
it.
were at the market. When they were at the market, kind of like the police, and she said they're the
uh,
wives of something, and they keep
oh,
everybody
okay,
safe.
The Wives of
okay,
Blue Lives. No.
okay, because yeah, in the graphic novel there are the daughters of Amazon. I thought that's who they were
Oh,
supposed to
maybe it
be,
is daughters. I'm
but
sorry. Maybe I
I don't
thought
Yeah,
recall.
wives.
I feel like I maybe heard
Maybe it
daughters.
was daughters. Okay, daughters of who now? Amazon.
Yeah, the daughters of Amazon.
Jeff Bezos.
I know. At the market, daughters of Amazon,
I know it's
making
a
sure
market.
that the market's under control. But
Like making
but
sure people
the
aren't taking their bathroom breaks. Like, excuse me.
were
Oh yeah.
those women the same ones that Hero of them had to patch up because she got shot.
Mhm.
So were those the same women or is this just a separate women?
No, 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 no. That's the same woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
So the
same.
woman that got shot is the one that B-55 shot.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I mean it was kind of odd. So they're still in the same. I didn't know where they
Little
were at this point.
area.
Yeah, I didn't know where they
I feel
traveled.
like
So
next episode we're gonna have Yorick and Hero finally kind of see each other if they're in the same area.
but see, the reason I asked is because I thought that if they were in the same area, that Hero would have seen the signs by now. All the spray paint that he's been putting up, like "Best come home, I'm alive." I thought she would have seen that by now, but maybe not. Maybe she's
But
just
no,
moving.
they so Hero is like currently in like Pennsylvania, I believe. And
Mm.
Yorick, where I can't remember where Yorick and 355 crashed. I can't recall.
Yeah, I can't
I don't know.
remember.
Well, they didn't crash. It was, strategic.
Crash. Yeah.
She's so smart, man. It's amazing. It really
That's
is.
just my thing, though. Is like again, things that weren't thought about, and I know it wasn't. For I don't think anyone foresaw it. At least, like, if I were 355 and I saw the only surviving man is the president's son, I would have been like, put the fucking mask on,
Mhm.
and we're gonna pretend that you're Hero. I wouldn't even let the pilots know.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't even think about that. I
I
think
wouldn't have even, because to me, I would have been like, this is in my mind, this is an immediate. Again, of course, I'm not Apocalypse. I would have been like, this is an immediate security risk.
Mhm.
to her
Exactly.
credit, I think she kind of freaked out. I'm gonna give her a
Yeah.
little bit of grace because she's been on, but I think I would have been like,
But
how?
then, and when she was on it, she kind of realized immediately. So I just feel like I just would have done something like you're Yorick, or no, you're Hero until. But even
I don't know.
I feel like Mama Pelosi is like is being dumb about it too. I don't
Mhm.
know.
She is,
Everyone's being really stupid.
and Tiff, what is it? Tiffany running? Is that her name? Tiffany, the daughter, the president's daughter. What's her name?
No, Kimberly. Kimberly.
Kimberly. I'm sorry. Tiffany's Kimberly.
Yeah.
Kimberly is smarter than she puts on. And that's
Mhm.
scary. Like
Yeah.
she's one of those people that doesn't show all the cards because she's used to dumbing herself down for men anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
she's not stupid. And I mean they made that clear. She knows that was Yorick. She knows because she's not dumb. Her
Mhm.
mama's not dumb either. She's like, yeah, isn't it ironic that of all the people she could conjure up in her mind, she picked your son. I was like, yeah, we're in trouble
All
because
right,
she
so let
knows.
me address one major concern that I have with this show. And I've been because I read like this so long ago, so I can't remember. if Yorick was all right. So Yorick is an idiot in graphic novel in the show, true enough. But I can't remember if he was this fucking
He was
stupid.
this though.
And what I don't want this show to do is have his stupidity as the driving force of the show. Because major event, the damn monkey runs away. He goes chase the monkey when he's not supposed to leave the room. Second event, 355 says, "Hey, don't show your face. Stay next to me." And he goes chasing somebody that he thinks is Beth. Like,
If you
so
see Beth at this point, if it is Beth, what are you gonna do? You gonna tell Beth that you're alive? So just blow the whole operation because
No,
you
it sounds
found
like
her?
he's fine with it.
he
Oh.
is.
No,
But
he's
I
perfectly fine.
think I'm hoping like it's one of those things where they have to walk a very fine line with like characters that are kind of like an annoying, stupid. Like they have to walk a very fine line where it doesn't take away like from the plot or just
I
from the
just
show in general.
it's just like it's just like eating me up inside a little bit because
I'm hoping
he
maybe he
has
has like
to
he almost
survive,
gets
right?
got. He almost gets got, and that way because he's been told multiple times to grow up, and I feel like because of that, like he's gonna have to have a moment where he does grow up. So maybe he sees Beth die because of his stupidity. I feel like that would
No.
take that would nip that in the bud.
I don't know.
Am I like digging
Is
too
Beth
deep?
alive? Like, do we know if she's alive or not?
I feel like I'm digging too deep.
And I'm
So
only
let's
asking if
move
she's
on
alive.
to okay.
Oh,
By the way,
when was she supposed to
I-
leave? This is my question. When was Beth supposed to leave?
I don't
So the
remember.
train that she was allegedly on, like, is kaput now.
Oh,
So
okay.
so he doesn't know if she's alive or
Allegedly,
dead.
she
but
could
he's
have missed
hoping.
the train or
Yeah.
something like that. Okay, also, I know I wasn't here for last episode, but the president definitely knew this was going to happen because of his
Yeah, so-
reaction. He definitely.
Look.
I know this should have been addressed, but like I wanted to say this because he's like, "Oh shit, this has got to be a joke." I'm like, that's not a normal reaction to someone having a nosebleed, and you're not
See,
supposed to know what's
we failed to
He
mention
knew
this
what
too.
happened.
So 355's
He knew.
assignment. Look. Let me put the proof
355
down so she
100% knew this was going to happen.
Hold on. 355's assignment was to go watch the president because the president is going to be in duress. They didn't say which president. They didn't say which president.
Here's another thing. This is what I think. I think that possibly it was not supposed to get all men. I genuinely do, and they were maybe testing the monkeys to like build an antibody to this bioweapon. Amp is one of the monkeys that York took from the testing facility. Monkey was probably the only one that had this, and they may use that in the future to like help like maybe future men, people with Y chromosome. But and then just York's constant exposure, reverse osmosis Jones, and he got immunity to this thing as well. That's what I genuinely have. I think some of the powerful men were not supposed to die. I think either that or I just feel like something went wrong.
I think it was meant for the president.
Yeah, maybe. But the thing is, like, I feel like the president had to have known based on his reaction. Or like maybe he got warnings. He got warnings because he's like, oh shit, this has got to be a joke.
Well, he definitely got warnings because I feel like that is why she was sent there. Right? Because they told her there's an event that puts the president in, I don't know if he said danger or attack or something to the effect
of like a
somebody
terrorist threat. I think they said a terrorist threat.
So I think he knew. Maybe he didn't take it seriously.
I think 355 knew I think 355 knew this was going to happen.
Well,
you think so?
I don't think she did.
I do.
I think she knew something was going to happen. I don't think she knew this was going to, because she's confused. She's lost. And when she turned on her beacon and she went, she still didn't see what it was, because remember she told President Brown.
She knew there was a plot, but I don't think she knew the scale.
I don't even know if she knew it was a plot.
I don't know. I think that she's in on it somehow.
I just feel like she was completely in the dark. I do. I think because like I said, she's like the perfect soldier. She doesn't ask questions. She just does what she's told. And they told her, go to the president, and that's where she went.
She does that, but she also side-eyes things. She's not
Yeah, she
stupid.
does.
But
No,
also,
it's
again,
stupid.
if like other top government officials were not aware of this, there's been within government conspiracies to overthrow people. Why would her division not be something like that? That is so top secret that only the president or whatever certain people know.
It's just difficult for me to believe anybody knew it because
it's just like how the
global.
U.S. government was behind JFK being assassinated. So it's not like
hey.
This is Courtney's.
And all of a sudden I go black.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's. I think it's just difficult for me to believe they knew because it's all like if it had not been a global event, I would feel differently. But I just don't see how anybody could know that this thing is going to happen or could potentially happen and not say something. Like, if you tell me, even if I'm putting the thing out, hey, this thing is going to kill everybody that does not have a Y chromosome, I'm not going to put it out because I don't have a Y chromosome.
You have to get to a certain, like, again, because we're logical people and we also have empathy. There's people that are like, at all costs, because I believe in this vision. There are people like that. So because of that, but and if you add power into that, they don't care.
But see, that's the thing.
Think about it like this. Think about all these like major wealthy people who are basically destroying the planet. They know that they cannot buy their way to a new planet, but the whole thing is, well, I'm not going to be here anyway. I don't care. It's building my wealth. It's the same thing. They're bringing everyone down with them for this one.
But like, America sucks, right? Like, the whole world don't suck. It's America. So like,
but that's a very American thing. That is like that's like an overwhelmingly American trait. And like, it's very on brand for me, for the government agency to just fuck the whole world like that.
So you think it started? Discourse, by the way, keep
you think it started here? I'm asking everybody. Absolutely. So you think it was an American that? Well, I won't say an American.
I think it may have been like an Illuminati type thing. It may be like a shadow organization, but
it was a black op.
I do think that I still am under the impression that maybe I don't buy that every single man was supposed to die.
They didn't.
There was. It was just, but like maybe
every single man didn't die.
But because here's my thing. I think that's, like I said, I think the monkey is the reason. I don't think York intentionally survived. I think it just looks very bad. I think he took monkey from government thing. It was not actually cosmetics testing. Monkey was the only monkey that had immunity. Constant exposure to monkey is why York survived, because he is so stupid. His stupidity saved his life.
Did his mama give him the monkey?
No, he stole the monkey from his facility.
Are we sure?
But that would make sense if it was from a testing facility.
Are we sure? Like, did he say he took it from the facility because his mama was like, hey, check out this cool facility? And he was like, ooh, monkey. And then he took the monkey, but she really gave him the monkey. I'm just playing, y'all. I just think it's the monkey, though. Like, Amp is the key.
I think the monkey is the link. Yeah, I think Amp's the link. And I think, like, because, again, is that not truly on brand for how just men are just stumbling into things? Like, he just stumbled into immunity to a bioweapon by stealing a monkey.
Just fell up, Ronnie.
Like, seriously, like, is that not so on brand for men to trip up?
I'm built different, so I would survive. So
built different.
But no, I feel like I'm onto something. Okay, I really do. I mean, like, this is my like big brain.
So,
Ronnie, you gotta give me your theory. You quiet. What is your theory though? Like, I know you've read it, but
I won't say things one way or another. But what, like,
I just want to say, I love shows that make us like have like theorize like this. Like, that's one reason I like this show, is like it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And men die. It's like, I'm winning.
And men die. Mm-hmm. But I told you this off air, but I'll say it on here. This isn't a spoiler. But what I like about this show, especially right now, is because Court, just like you, Dee, just like you, like everyone believes they know what happened and they're going to get behind that cause, and that's going to be their purpose now. So no matter whether it's true or not, they believe this is what happened. This is the only way it happened. Let's get to the bottom of it. So people are going to rally behind that cause, much like this stupid pandemic where the people think it's population control or 5G connections or yada yada yada.
They're carrying tracking devices in their hands, but
exactly.
For some reason, somehow we've developed an amazing technology to be able to inject chips. I wish we had that kind of technology, but we don't.
So yeah, people are going to rally behind those causes. Yeah.
No, my one true cause would be to finally 1v1 Tommy Lauren.
Oh yeah, you would have.
I'm waiting. I would be like that. Like I wouldn't even think. I wouldn't really react to be like, this is my moment.
The lane would be open for that.
It would be open. But you don't have a theory though, Ronnie. Like I know you. My theory is AMP. Like I'm putting it out there.
Remove your knowledge of the graphic novel. Yeah, and then what's your theory?
But he told me though, even those who have read the graphic novel, nobody really knows anyway, right?
So, I didn't want you to say that.
Oh, sorry.
But it's cool though. It's cool though.
Let the mystery be.
She was joking.
Let the mystery be. I told y'all from the leftovers though. That is my objective anyway. Just let the mystery be, and then when it comes out, you don't have to be freaked out the whole time to figure out what happened. I still think it's a monkey.
So
I think it's AMP, and I think York is just again like men just peak man and stumbled into immunity from a bioweapon, which is like the most himbo thing that you could ever do.
I will reveal my favorite theory from the graphic novel. That
yes.
All right, so you remember the dumbass movie The Happening?
Yes.
So
like my favorite, comedy. It's a comedy.
It's a comedy, but no, like there's a certain group in the graphic novel that believes that Mother Nature was just purging itself of the Y chromosome, and when you think of that and think of like biology, considering that there are species where female can produce spawn on their own without being inseminated and things like that. They believe that this is just the next step of evolution and Mother Nature was purging itself. To me, that's a cool, like, I say this as a man.
Cool. I would love,
theory.
I would love for that to be the case because we're like, oh, these people, like, that would be really cool, I think.
Especially since it's Mother Nature. Like, get these things out of here.
Because, like, agree. Absolutely retweet. Love that. Thank you.
I like it, Ronnie.
Yeah, I fuck with them.
Court is like,
but the problem, the only problem,
whatever religion that is,
the only problem I have with that is that of all the people who survived Mother Nature's wrath,
is it literally because he's like so stupid that he's pure of heart?
But no, like,
because remember that's the thing in The Happening, like the plants didn't kill people that they thought were cool. So is it like it's one of those things where York is because like that's the thing is like is York so dumb that he's pure of heart?
No, think of it when things happen like we always hear like 99.1% like effective and stuff like that. So he's just an anomaly. Like there's no explanation for his
just him and the monkey just
for his survival.
Or it could be Mother Nature saying, I don't want y'all to die. Like I don't want it to just cease. I just want the ones that are here.
But here's my thing about that.
Let's get some new ones. Let's lock York up in the basement.
The world would kind of end anyway because we rely on like shared ecology, and if only 2 species had surviving males. We rely on a lot of other animals for survival, and like within just a few years, I think we'd be like ignoring like nuclear plants that need maintenance, all that kind of stuff. Like
save a frog,
but
save some bees.
But if it was like the nature thing, but that also had to be pretty fast evolution.
What's the creature that there was this whole thing that I saw the other day. There is some animal that nobody knows how it reproduces. What was it?
Oh
It
I
yeah, I
was
can't
an
saw
remember what it
that.
says.
eel. It's an
It's a sea
eel.
Yeah.
animal, right? Yeah, and
It's an
nobody knows. So
eel. Like
maybe,
they literally have watched them, and then we do not know.
maybe the frogs will do that. The bees, just like all of a sudden there'll be more
Yeah.
intersex, and then
Yeah.
it'll spawn off.
It's very interesting, and I hope the show like explores those threads instead of just going for the like, oh, let's get York out of trouble this week. I really hope that. But Dee, to close the show, you have a
To close
question
the
for
show,
us.
we have a new segment, right? So I'm going to ask a question. I need y'all to answer it. It's going to be a part of the theme of the show. So this week, I want to know, you had a choice. Would you rather have your genetic makeup die, everybody but you die, or your genetic makeup survive and only one person that you love of that genetic makeup survive?
So wait,
So
it's
if you're XX, would you rather all the XX die except you, or would you rather all the XY die except one that you choose?
I don't even have to think about it. I would literally kill myself if I was the only woman on this earth and I was surrounded by men. I would literally jump off the building as soon as I put two and two together. Like I will not absolutely with men, and I'm the only
Yeah.
woman. No, I would
Yeah.
literally no. I would end my life so fast. No, I'd be like, bye.
Okay,
I'm
so
like, this
it's
is actual hell. There's nothing that's worse than this right now. I'm
it's
literally in hell. What did I do wrong? I'm
it's
sorry
fair
I
for me
said those
to.
things about these like censored political people. I didn't know it was that bad where I would be in this level of hell. Dante didn't even get this deep.
Ronnie, what about you?
I'm actually record on this. Like, so
Excuse me.
if there was nothing, oh my god, if there was nothing but men left on Earth, oh my god,
Hmm.
oh
Hmm.
my god.
Well, you get
It's
and
why
one woman that you love.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no,
Hmm.
because I would no. Like, life
Hmm.
would like all my life I had to fight. Like, no,
Hmm.
like that. No, no, no.
Exactly
I,
that.
I, I would be put me in Yorick's place. I would rather be there than to be on Earth where there's nothing but men.
it's
Hmm.
just like, and I feel like that, like at least like women are trying to like keep the. I feel like it would just go downhill so quickly if it was just men.
It would be barbaric.
Yeah,
Hard
I want to
staying.
see a concept show about that. Like it
Mm-mm,
would
no,
go
you don't.
downhill
God.
so fast
No, Corey, it
for
would be one
entertainment
episode.
purposes. It would be one.
It
It
would be
wouldn't be
one
like
episode.
15 minutes.
Feature presentation. It'll be a trailer.
Like in the 15 minutes, including ads.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm the same. Well, for two reasons. One, I just would not. I wouldn't be able to function if there were only men around because it's just for obvious reasons, right?
Like they wouldn't
Uh,
even allow you to function. Like that's the thing. Is like we're already we're
that
already
too.
fighting every day for.
Yeah, that too. And the second thing is I wouldn't want it to be the other way because I wouldn't want to have somebody here and they be the only one either. Right? So I wouldn't
No.
want the person I love to be the only of his species, and I definitely would not want to be the only one. So I'd have to say a very fervent prayer to the Lord, and
I think honestly, but like being
peace out.
realistic, I feel like
God,
it would be a lot safer to be the only man than to be the only woman. Like I feel like you're
absolutely.
in danger, but you're not in like this same kind of danger. Like
But
yours
see,
is like it's like different. It's like people might freak out,
I even think
but
the
also
men would
like
be in danger.
as yeah, like the women, like I
Mm.
feel like I would instantly be in fear of like if I saw it around like happening, I'm like I'd be my first thought would probably I'd be in fear in my life, and not because I'd be keeling over, but because of what the men would do to me as the last woman on
Oh
earth.
yeah, I just
Yeah,
yeah,
Like that's just when you
and
just like, sorry, I'm gone too.
and that would be cool because women would be like, "Oh, he makes good appletinias. Let's keep him around." So, like, it would be cool for me. Like,
I
I'll be
um
chilling.
now look, I will say this. I do truly think one out of fear they probably lock you away because you're a man, and 2, they would breed you, so you'd be down in the basement making appletini and
I think seeing how women
making
are,
appletinis too.
seeing how women are, we would
built
probably
different,
just because how women are superior. I think we would just take the genetic makeup and learn how to clone and just use you as a sperm bank.
Well, see, I don't think so though, because I mean, I don't know if they would want more men. I don't even know if we would want to well,
or because I'm so
they would.
virile and insatiable, they wouldn't be able to help
Couldn't
themselves.
keep their hands off. Oh my gosh.
It's a death by snoo situation.
Oh my goodness.
Death
Did
by
you
snoo
see when I
snoo.
took my shirt off later when I made you that appletini? Did you see? Okay. Yeah. So I'm also the consensus is we would all rather have a world with all the men dying.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Sorry.
Easily. I'm not even sad about it.
Sorry, Tony Hawk.
I care about my own.
Sorry, Tony Hawk.
Like, I don't even think it's the only
Great
woman
man.
that you probably wouldn't even survive 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because like probably men, because they're idiots. Like, oh, no laws.
There is a movie.
That's where they always go. That's where they always go. It's like, what can I do with no laws? Not that, what immediately like the women are doing, what can we do to survive? They'd be like, what can I do now that there's no laws? It's like a preschooler when the teacher doesn't show up for the day.
Netflix has a movie called Only, and that is the premise. All the women die. Like it's the opposite of this. They go outside and there's something.
How long is it? It's 5 minutes?
Nah, it's a whole movie.
The short film?
It's a whole movie.
Mostly ads? Or what life was?
Well, okay, sorry. I take it back. I take it back. Some of the women survive, right? But most of the younger and women who are in their childbearing years still, they die. So I don't remember if children, like if girls die. I know young women for sure.
See, that would make me terrified for the children.
Yeah. So if you want to see it, it's called Only. I'm not suggesting it. I'm just telling you it's there.
I like of these kind of situations is like the movie Children of Men, where just everybody.
One of my favorite movies ever.
Where it's men and women, they don't even know. Like you just can't reproduce. Period. I think I like that kind of.
I was going to ask you about that.
That's a more realistic one with climate change affecting men's fertility, and no one's talking about it because men think that they're immune to that.
Well, see, that's what I was going to say. I was going to ask it.
We're kind of low key on the way there if we're not careful.
I'll save it for next week. I already got another question, so we'll save it for next week.
Yes. So for to close, like, let us know the answer to the question. Let us know your answer to the question deposed. Also, let us know like your theories, where you think the show is going, how you like the show so far. It's the monkey. All right, you're on record. It is the monkey. But yeah, that's all we have. I
definitely want to see everyone's, especially I like men. I don't care about your reaction. Women, like, please tell me if you had to choose with that question. I don't care about the men's reactions because it's just no, it's not the same. Women.
And you can feel free to tell us why too. Like tell us what you choose and why. Yeah.
Please.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know. So until next time.
Peace.